Dear friend, close your eyes and imagine a moment. You're sitting next to someone you deeply care about. They're holding your hand, their gaze distant as they look out the window. Suddenly, it hits you. The time left together is slipping away. It's a scary feeling, isn't it? The worry, the unease, and the regret over things left unsaid or undone. But what if I told you there's a way to turn that fear into peace? That death isn't just an end, but a profound lesson about love, impermanence, and gratitude. In today's video, we'll explore 5 subtle signs that may indicate a loved one is approaching the final chapter of their journey. More importantly, we'll learn how to embrace this precious time with love and appreciation. Stay with me until the end of the video, because I'll share how to transform those last days into some of the most beautiful and meaningful moments for both the person leaving and those who remain. Before diving into specific signs, let me share a brief story with you. Last year, I met a woman named Maria. Her mother, Elena, was 87 years old and lived with Maria's family. Maria began noticing subtle changes in her mother, small, gradual shifts that seemed insignificant at first. But deep down, Maria's heart, the heart of a daughter, sensed something profound was happening. I knew my mom was preparing to leave us, Maria told me. But no one in the family believed me. They said I was being too pessimistic. 6 months later, Elena passed away in Maria's arms. What haunted Maria wasn't her mother's death, but the precious time that had slipped away. Time that could have been spent cherishing moments together instead of denying reality. Maria's story is far from unique. Many of us aren't prepared to recognize these subtle signs. We haven't been taught to face death as a natural part of life. Instead, modern society has turned it into a taboo subject, something we avoid discussing. Yet ancient cultures understood this journey better. The Egyptians viewed death as a transition to eternal life and crafted elaborate rituals to ensure a smooth passage. Tibetan Buddhism sees death as a transformative opportunity for liberation, encouraging meditations to remove fear and embrace the process. Indigenous traditions often see death as part of life's natural cycle, a transition rather than an end. Understanding these perspectives not only helps us recognize the signs of approaching death, but also allows us to embrace this process with peace and gratitude. Now, let's explore 5 key signs identified by end-of-life care experts and those experienced in these transitions. The first sign may surprise you. It's often mistaken for an unrelated health issue. Sign number 1. Significant weight loss. The first, and perhaps the most noticeable sign, is significant weight loss without any clear medical reason. However, this isn't just about losing a few pounds. It's a profound process that signals fundamental changes in how the body functions. As the body prepares for its final journey, it undergoes what experts call physiological withdrawal. This means the body gradually reduces its ability to absorb nutrients, even if the person continues to eat normally. You might notice your loved one leaving more food uneaten on their plate, saying they feel full much faster than usual, losing interest in foods they once loved, finding their clothes becoming noticeably looser. Maria shared that her mother, Elena, who once adored cooking and savoring traditional Italian dishes, began refusing even her favorite pasta. Mom said she couldn't taste it the same way anymore, Maria recalled. At the time, I thought it was just a problem with her taste buds, but now I understand it was part of a larger process. It's important to understand that this weight loss isn't a problem that needs to be fixed. Instead, It's the body's natural way of preparing for transition. In many cases, forcing someone to eat can lead to unnecessary discomfort. Rather than focusing on how much food is consumed, shift your attention to the quality of moments shared around meals. An ancient philosopher once said, "The best food is food shared with love." Turn mealtime into an opportunity for connection, sharing stories, laughter, and love, even if only a few bites are eaten. As we move on to sign number 2, you'll discover the profound link between physical changes and shifts in energy, a transformation often overlooked or misunderstood. Sign number 2, extreme fatigue and weakness. The second sign is often mistaken for depression or other health issues. Extreme fatigue and unexplainable weakness. This isn't the kind of tiredness we all feel from time to time. It's a profound exhaustion, a bone-deep weariness that no amount of sleep can cure. In Eastern philosophy, there's a concept of ki, or prana, the life energy that flows through the body. When someone is preparing for their final journey, this energy begins to withdraw, much like the tide receding from the shore. You might notice your loved one sleeping much more, sometimes up to 18 to 20 hours a day, struggling with simple tasks like bathing or getting dressed, spending more time sitting or lying down, losing interest in activities they once enjoyed. John, a man I met in a grief support group, shared this about his father. "My dad was always active. He woke up at 5 a.m. every day for 50 years. But in his final months, he started sleeping until 9, then 10, and eventually noon. We thought he was depressed and took him to the doctor. But now I understand. It was his body preparing." Many ancient cultures understood that this fatigue wasn't a sign of failure or giving up. It's a natural part of the transition process, the body gradually shifting its energy from outward activity to inward reflection and preparation. Instead of trying to wake up your loved one or push them to be more active, honor their need for rest. Sit beside them, hold their hand, read them a book, or simply be there in silence. Sometimes, your quiet presence is the most precious gift you can offer. The poet Rumi once wrote, "Silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation." In those quiet moments with your loved one, you may find the deepest connection. As we move on to sign number 3, you'll notice a subtle yet profound shift in how your loved one perceives the world. A sign that many people overlook or misunderstand entirely. Sign number 3. Confusion or withdrawal into their own world. The third sign, and one that often worries families the most, is confusion or a tendency to withdraw into their own inner world. You might notice your loved one talking to people who have passed away, becoming disoriented about time and place, mentioning trips or journeys they feel they need to take, showing little interest in current events or daily concerns. In many traditional cultures, this state isn't seen as confusion, but as a sign that the person is beginning to perceive both worlds, the physical world we live in and the spiritual world they are preparing to enter. Sarah, a hospice nurse with over 30 years of experience, shared with me, "I've seen this hundreds of times. Patients begin talking to their long-deceased parents or describing loved ones standing at the foot of their bed. Many families worry it's delirium or a side effect of medication, but I believe it's a natural part of the transition process." Psychologist Carl Jung referred to this as the process of transcendence, when the mind begins to detach from earthly concerns and shifts its focus towards something beyond the material world. Interestingly, many people in this stage experience moments of unexpected clarity and insight. They may share profound reflections on life, love, and the meaning of existence, as though standing between two worlds allows them to see truths from both sides. Rather than correcting or arguing with your loved one when they speak of things that seem unreal, join them in their world. Ask about the people they see or the places they're going. Sometimes, these conversations can bring peace not only to them, but also to you. These moments of connection can be deeply meaningful, not just for the person nearing the end, but also for us, offering a rare glimpse into the journey we will all eventually take. Another remarkable aspect of this stage is how often people return to childhood memories or long-forgotten moments from decades ago. They might recount stories from 60 or 70 years earlier with vivid detail, even as they struggle to remember events from last week. Psychologists refer to this as age regression, a natural part of life review. It's as if the mind is replaying its life story, searching for meaning and closure before turning the final page. As we move on to sign number 4, you will witness one of the most profound changes, a sign that many ancient cultures have regarded as the gateway between two worlds. Sign number 4. Frequent infections and slow healing. 12 Ok, 15 Hundrak. The fourth sign reflects the body's diminishing ability to heal itself, frequent infections and slower wound healing. As the body prepares for its final journey, it begins reallocating resources. The immune system, already weakened by age, becomes even less effective. Small injuries take longer to heal, and infections become more frequent. You might notice your loved one catching colds or flu more frequently, developing recurring urinary tract infections, bruising easily, with bruises lasting longer than usual, taking weeks for small cuts or scrapes to heal. David, a palliative care doctor, explains, "The body has an innate wisdom. When it knows time is running out, it starts pulling back from non-essential functions. Healing minor wounds becomes less important than maintaining core systems." In Eastern philosophy, there is a concept known as the beauty of fragility. Like a flower nearing the end of its bloom, the body's vulnerability in this stage carries its own unique dignity and grace. Rather than focusing solely on fixing infections or wounds, see them as gentle reminders of how precious every moment is. Care for your loved one's skin with extra tenderness, not just to ease discomfort, but as a way to express love through touch. Poet Mary Oliver once wrote, "Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it." In these final days, your presence, your full, mindful attention, may be the greatest gift you can offer. As we move on to sign number 5, you'll witness one of the most profound changes, a sign that many ancient cultures have regarded as the gateway between two worlds. Sign number 5, changes in circadian rhythms and sleep patterns. The body's natural circadian rhythm governs our sleep-wake cycles. As someone approaches the final stages of life, you may notice significant changes. Staying awake more during the night, especially between 2 to 4 a.m., napping more frequently during the day, becoming restless or anxious at sunset, a phenomenon known as sundowning, confusing day and night. In many spiritual traditions, the hours between 2 to 4 a.m. are considered sacred hours, a time when the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is at its thinnest. Interestingly, this is also when many people in their final days tend to wake. Emma, an end-of-life care expert, shares, "I've seen this countless times. Patients start to reverse their days and nights. Families often worry and try to correct their schedule. But I always explain that this is a natural part of the process. The body is preparing for a journey beyond time as we know it." Physicist Albert Einstein taught us that time is not absolute. And as someone prepares to cross the threshold between life and death, They seem to experience time differently, no longer bound by clocks and calendars as we are. So, what can we do? Instead of trying to fix your loved one's sleep patterns, try adjusting your rhythm to match theirs when possible. Conversations at 3 a.m., under moonlight and in the quiet stillness of the night, can sometimes become the most profound moments of connection. The poet Rumi once wrote, "Beyond ideas of right and wrong, there is a field. I'll meet you there." And perhaps, in those hours between midnight and dawn, we may find that field, a space where souls connect beyond the boundaries of time. Now that we've explored these signs, here's the most important takeaway: how to transform these final moments into a meaningful and peaceful journey. For most of human history, death was seen as a natural part of life. Only in modern times have we separated it, hidden it, and feared it. But in doing so, we've lost something profound, an ancient truth our ancestors understood. Death is not the enemy, it is the teacher. Death teaches us about love, that love is not about holding on, but about letting go with gratitude and blessings. Death teaches us about impermanence, that everything changes, and it's this fleeting nature that makes every moment precious. And death teaches us about gratitude, that every day, every conversation, every embrace is a gift. Not guaranteed, irreplaceable, infinitely valuable. When we recognize these signs, we have two choices. We can resist them, or we can embrace them, as invitations to be fully present in the moments that remain. Maria, the woman I mentioned earlier, shared a powerful story about her mother. Instead of focusing on curing, she created a sacred space for transition. "I brought my mom home," Maria said. "We placed her bed by her favorite window where she could see the garden. We opened old photo albums, sang her favorite songs, and invited friends to visit, not to say goodbye, but to celebrate her life. And something beautiful happened," Maria continued. "In those final weeks, we had the deepest conversations of our lives. My mom shared stories she had never told before, lessons, regrets, dreams. We laughed, we cried, we healed old wounds. When my mom took her last breath, she wasn't alone in a cold hospital room. She passed away surrounded by love in a space filled with sunlight and the scent of her favorite flowers. It wasn't a tragic ending. It was a beautiful completion of a life well lived. And that, dear friend, is the greatest lesson of all. Death is not something to fight until the end. It is a sacred part of life's grand cycle. When we embrace it with love and reverence, it becomes one of the most transformative experiences we will ever know. The philosopher Socrates once said, "Death may be the greatest blessing for humanity, not because it ends life, but because it teaches us how to live, with love, presence, and deep gratitude for each fleeting moment." So if you see these signs in your loved one, remember, this is not a time for fear. It's a time for love, presence, cherishing every remaining moment. Because in the end, death is not an end. It is a transition, a lesson in love, impermanence, and gratitude that we all, one day, will come to understand. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may bring comfort to someone else walking this path. And if you'd like more content on living fully and facing life's challenges with wisdom, be sure to subscribe. Above all, remember this: even in the hardest moments, there is an opportunity to find meaning, beauty, and love. Thank you for being part of this conversation today. I'll see you in the next video.